Welcome back. This is part 2 of my conversation with my friend Landon Patterson. How are you?
Hello. We're back. Part 2.
We are back. And the first part was really to educate people about what Landon has gone through with the surgery. But this is about what we have gone through, Landon and Seraphine, in this last year, from the moment we met to now sitting down, and just how the conversations are changing emotionally within us. I want to start out by kind of serving this to you. When I first met you, there was this I got in my own way because I was learning, and I was also putting myself out on a podcast where I wanted to present my best self forward, right? Like, and I am a little bit of a perfectionist. So you get fake, right? And you get precious about your feelings and about, oh my gosh, am I saying the right thing? And I remember when I met you, in the beginning, it was kind of like a reference to, because you perform drag, that Lana was your stage name and Landon was your name. Mm-hmm. And I became very precious about, Lana sounds very feminine and Landon, it feels very male. And in my own stupid head, my brain started to, not stupid, I'm not going to call myself stupid. At that time, the tools in my box were, this is someone who I met, I loved how authentic were you, and I wanted to honor your authenticity and like who you are by showing you respect with calling you the right fucking name.
Right. No, I feel that.
And then I realized a year later that really it's like a nickname. It's like Lana.
Yeah, Landon. Like that was like a nickname. That's why I made it a drag name, or my stage name, my pop star name, is because like when I first started, I was really trying to make a hard difference between the two. Mm-hmm. Like my performance person was really kicked her. But this past year and a half, and even right before surgery, my stage presence, I've melted into who I am. Like there is a difference, you know, like sometimes I put a little bit more makeup on maybe, and like when I'm on stage I'm more confident. It's like hyper femininity to its finest. It's sexual, she's confident as hell, etc. But I really don't feel like they're two different people anymore. No. I really am just, it's like when Britney is, you know, or like Lady Gaga, etc. Like, you know, they're Lady Gaga on stage and off the stage. Obviously there's differences when you're off and on or whatever, but like it's not like they're different people or characters or alter egos, etc. Like a lot of the people I work with, you know, they're men. Mm-hmm. They get in drag and that's their character. They take it off and then they're back to being a boy. Like the fantasy is over. Like it's like when you go do a gig for a musical production or a theater, etc. Mine has really become once I take off the makeup and the costumes and the pasties, etc. like I'm still me. Like 100%. I still have to go be me. Yeah. And there really isn't that difference. I'm basically just like a burlesque performer or a showgirl or a pop star or drag. I call it drag. It's just, and again, me times 12.
Well, to me, I know traditionally, and this is where I think that this is an exciting time. I had seen a podcast, it's called the Man Enough podcast. And I was curious about it because I have a very alpha husband and I get very frustrated with him because I see these sides to him that are so just beautiful and soft and kind. And then when he gets in this like angry alpha mode, it's like he shows that side to almost everybody, the angry alpha. But when it comes to this other side, I'm like
just you two.
Yeah, I'm like this is like it. This
is hot.
This is hot. I love who you are. I wish more people saw this side of you. So I started listening to it because of that. And then there is a scholar, an activist, a poet named Alok. And if you have never seen, I think it's Alok Vade Menon. I think. I can't, if I'm mispronouncing it, I'm sorry. But it is Alok. And I just messed up there. They were on the podcast and they were speaking to pronouns first in gender, because the preface of the podcast was how we kind of get in our own ways. But then the beauty is Alok really dove into, although I identify as they, and I am more non-binary, and there's a fluidity to me. I wish more people would open up their minds and hearts to this, to the feeling of what love really is. And it's not getting in this box, parameter box of, I see you because Alok looks more manly and he wears dresses and lipstick. He doesn't do anything. He's never done a surgery. He doesn't even identify as femme or cis, doesn't at all. He is a they. He is both.
Right.
And I guess what was interesting was him was again, I say he, I'm trying to untrain it, and you're seeing me stumble right here. They said that, you know, why they believe that they rub people wrong is because they are so in what love is at its purest form of, I am everything. I am male, I am female, and you should love the presence, the being that I am, and not because I have qualities of a man or qualities of a woman. And the other thing that he spoke, or they spoke to, is that it's okay if you want to present female, if you want to present masculine.
You, obviously Alok's situation's different, but like relating it to a trans, like my situation as a trans woman, or if you're a trans man, you know, like people will see you and it's like, I'm a girl, you know, they see woman, so it's not bad to be attracted to a trans person. No. It's not weird. It's none of those things, because you like women and that's what you see. Like, yes. And all of that exudes, you know, and it's okay to be like, okay, well, I know they're trans. Would I date a trans person, et cetera, et cetera. And then you really do have to like dive deep into like, okay, why wouldn't I date her? Or would I get to know, like, you really have to break down those barriers that you're not often to think about, like, why wouldn't I date her? And then it's like this, and this, or, oh, or I see, since I'm seeing her for her, I should really just go with the flow. And you know, that's a scary thing for people who've never really had to experience that. And so it's really just a journey of just, whether it's dating, sexual, friendships, whatever, and just saying like, you go, like, I just want to be your friend, or I just want to go with the flow and see where it goes.
100%.
And nothing's wrong with that.
Because at the end of the day, it's like me stumbling over he and they. Mm-hmm. I think that if you find yourself attracted to somebody, I think that the first things that come into play is what? We look for red flags, right? Like, oh God, he's so hot, but God, you know, he talks about himself so fucking much. Or
like,
you know.
Oh, like he is, yeah, no, I totally get that.
Or she or a girl who's like, you know, so insecure, or you know, you're looking.
Or greedy, or just like selfish, etc.
We immediately go into assessment, right? When we are looking for a mate. And I think the hard part is that we're already there, because I think in general dating is so hard anyway. But yes. Then on top of it, you add in
being trans,
and then the work that not only it's about the work you as the person who looks at the trans person and goes, I'm attracted to you. Why can't I get out of my own way, because how I've been brought up, or right. what is the root of my thinking and my belief system? I'm getting in my own fucking way.
And it's like, you just have to like tear that down.
You have to dismantle it.
Like, it takes like a really strong man or woman, etc., to just really just see someone as them. You know what I mean? Because like you said, like, we look for these red flags, etc., and it sucks because like I have my own like things about me, obviously, that are I guess negatives or positives.
yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
And it's hard to feel like being trans is one of those negatives, but also feeling like it's such a positive. Like, I'm so proud to be trans, just like people are very proud, and I'm also proud to be Asian, and I'm proud to be smart, etc., like owning those things. So it's like hard to be like, I'm proud to be trans, and like I've fought so hard to be where I'm at, which is beautiful. And like, why wouldn't it's hard to feel like you check the boxes. Like, I'm like, I work hard, I feel like I'm attractive and I'm passionate, I have great qualities, but the trans thing is the end all be all for a lot of people, which is obviously their loss. But it's like, you just want someone to love you for who you are. Like, and it's like, I want to date a guy, they see me for who I am, and they're like, babe, you talk about surgeries, I want a guy who will love me for me, whether I get surgery tomorrow, if I don't want to get any more just me. Because it's like, if I'm dating my man and he gets in a wreck, if something traumatic happens, and like, say he doesn't work from the waist down, or people, it's like, I don't care, I'm still gonna like you for you because of your energy, your other your qualities emotionally, your qualities physically. But like, it literally always just comes down to like genitalia, etc.
It does, and that's the thing that
shitty.
makes me, and as a married woman who got married at 40,
work.
What I want to talk to whoever's listening to this is, sex is a part of your relationship, but it's not all of it.
It's not all of it.
And the older you get, I'm sorry to let you know, but the less you have of it. And sex,
and you really just want like a teammate. And
totally. And sex is not, I think the thing is that if you're fixated on sex, right, and you just are like one of those people that's like, I got 50 fucking dildos and I have a sex cabin and all that kind of shit. And again, not shit. Some people,
that's your thing.
It's your thing. But again, it's like your red flags. That can be a red flag for someone. Because frankly, to me, I think the person that falls in love with you is going to be exceptional.
No, and I've learned,
it's like
when you love somebody or when you open your mind, like, the chemistry is good no matter what, I'm someone who's like dated girls. I've dated trans men, cis men, etc., and I've learned when you love somebody or when you're on the same level as somebody, no matter what y'all got, whatever's going on, you make it work and everything ends up being great anyway, because like I don't know if that's sexual, but you're like pleasing your partner because you love them, not because like, oh, I'm only dating people with penises and I'm only dating people with this, and like, if that is truly a thing, that is your number one thing, cool. But it's just odd.
Well, again, it becomes, I guess it is knowing your deal breakers. If you are somebody who has to have the 2.5 children and the picket fence, and you have to have your own children,
and I make people
that.
question that.
Yeah.
They look at me and they think, or trans people, and it goes against everything that's ingrained with you. But it's like, okay, babe, we can still have a family. There's so many ways. Like, you're just not thinking. Like, I literally had a guy that I was dating, and like one of our big things was like listening to other people, but being like, she can't have kids, and like, et cetera, and even though we had multiple,
I can't have kids.
Right.
I can't have kids. And the thing that freaking makes me, and I'm sorry I interrupted, I think the thing that it just is, the Seraphine you met last year was still in that headspace of like, well, I could see where, if somebody like, met you and was convinced you were a woman and then freaked out because,
they were like,
oh my God,
she's trans, or she can't have kids, or
Me last year would be like, well, I could sympathize with that because, some people aren't equipped for it. And I'm like, I wish we were at a place to where we could just sit across from each other and we don't go, I need to know what you have between your legs and if it can reproduce.
And all that shit.
It's painful. It's fucking painful. Mm-hmm. And as a woman who can't have kids, I guess I look at it in the way, and someone who, I I can't tell you how many times in my life to where, you know, I got in my own way, and I wish that I wish I would have felt it sooner of just what it is to just see someone for who they are.
And that's like, yes, and I think that's like that's all trans people want. That's all. And it's not like who you think they are or who you see them as what they are. It's who they tell you, and like maybe what they present to you, and like just understand it, you know, like taking that in, like, you know, I want you to see me as a woman, and I want you to see me as et cetera, and just like doing so,
Yeah,
etc. And I don't want, you know, and like every woman, that's like the point, you know, every woman is different. Trans women, all, like every woman is different. And so like being told like, oh, you can't have kids and shit, it's like that could be anybody. Or what if you can't, maybe what if it's you? And it's just like, and then I just know it's like, well, then I wouldn't want to date someone anyway. If you're only dating because like, oh, you're just like wanting someone that's going to reproduce, you know, it's like, what do you mean? Like, what if you're 6 years in marriage and then you just realize they can't have kids? Is it like, okay, bye, on to the
totally
next? That's weird.
And again,
shit.
it's just like if someone got into an accident to where, you know,
my man's penis didn't work anymore, I wouldn't be like, ew, like I don't want to be with you. Like, that's your person, and I wasn't dating you anyway because of your what was in between your legs, or like I just want to and especially as I've transitioned, I'm really open-minded, and I know what rejection feels like. And like honestly, like, you know, I just want to date somebody. I just want to be friends with people that make you feel good.
Yeah.
And attraction is a part of it, and there are deal breakers, and if you don't want to date someone who hasn't had this surgery or whatever, that's fine, that's your loss. But you know, like I want to date people that don't give a fuck and just own their shit, and they like you for you, because there's a million things about me that make me better than what I have going on, you know what I mean? And oftentimes, because of what I have going on and being trans, you know, that's all people see me for. Obviously, there's people that reject me and are concerned, but then there's the people that are blowing me up, and they're like, where's your OnlyFans account? Do this, or I want to experiment. I want to hook up. I want to do da-da, and constantly just blowing you up. And then you just feel like this sexual object, and you're like, can you just say, hey, Landon, like, want to get coffee? Not, hey, Landon, let's fuck tomorrow. And I'm like, I don't even know you.
Totally.
You sickos.
Totally. I mean, it's such a hard thing to, and I think the one thing that I think is a little parallel is with women who own their body, who turn up the dial on being feminine. Culturally, you know, we've come from a toxic place where we're asking for it. We're sluts, we're whores. You know, if you're performing, I mean, I used to be a pole dancer, and again, I always feel like I have to preface, well, I taught it, I wasn't in a club. And I'm like, you know what?
You should be able to say you're a pole dancer,
totally.
And people not be like,
and not if people go, oh, are you trash? Are you a whore? Did you, you know, I'm like,
exactly.
I can't, I want so badly for our society to not look at, because you want to be in your body, to feel elevated in if you want to call it sexuality, whatever. What I don't like is, because I'm presenting something, it means that I want to have sex, or if I'm flirty, it means that I'm trying to hook up with you.
Or if I want to wear makeup, or dress this way, or
it's exhausting.
And that's like, I mean, and I get that like with the pole dancing comment. Like when I tell people, they're like, "What do you do on like dating apps?" I'm always like, kind of like nervous to tell like guys, like obviously they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I perform, or I dance. And then they just assume I like dance in a club, or like a strip club, or something when I'm out. Or telling them like, no, I work like at a drag restaurant, or like I perform in like LGBTQ venues. But the thing is, it's like I perform with like cis straight women in those venues, gay men, trans, etc. It's just performance art. But to them, it's like, oh, you're like a drag queen, or oh, you're dancing for money, etc. All these things. And it's just like, that's the one place I can be me. You know,
Yes.
when I'm at Sephora, like, yes, it's great and all, but, you know, I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking Karens who want to get shade match and want to disrespect me and my pronouns. As opposed to when I'm at Mary's, like, I feel safe and, like, I'm celebrated for my beauty and being trans and being Landon. Like, I'm celebrated and, like, I'm killing it. As opposed when I'm, like, at a straight bar or I'm at Sephora or when I'm in straight spaces, I'm looked at like a fucking science project and it's like, I'm worried if I'm gonna whatever. When I tell guys that, I just get nervous. They think like, oh,
Well, they make assumptions.
you're a slut or
Yeah.
you're a man or you just party when like I'm sober. Like I don't drink. I might have one drink at a show or I don't drink at all. Like I don't drink ever really. So I'm like, I'm not some raging party animal. I'm not this, and this. And even if I was, but I get what like, it's just shitty.
It is. I think to wrap this up in a bow, which you can't, is take your time unwrapping the package of the person. Don't sit there with your own. I mean, I know that we go off our own, what we've learned in the past. We try to protect ourselves from making. We know what we know, right? We know what we know. We can't erase that. I think what we need to do going forward is to not get in our way and make assumptions, because it makes an ass out of you and me. But seriously, that assumptions are,
You can never assume.
you can't, and you also can't assume that just because somebody presents something in a workplace or marches in a parade or is outspoken about something, it doesn't mean that day-to-day life that is something that they revisit time and time again. Or when you go home, I'm sure that you probably throw sweatpants on, have no makeup, and you probably just want to be in somebody's arms and like lay your head on their shoulder and not have it be about, what are we going to do tonight, honey? I mean,
No, and that's like what, and like even like cis girls deal with this too, and like just how sexual everything is, and just like whatever. But you know, it's like when I got my surgery, you know, it would have been nice. Like I just climbed such a big hill, and it would have been nice to like look over, and you know, you have someone there. I mean, I'm really young, so honestly, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm dealing with a lot of big shit at such a young age, and I have to understand that. But you know, it's nice to look over and have someone who's going through that with you, or hang out with a guy and they're just wanting to get to know. Like, I want to do normal shit. I don't want to be on a date and you be like, so how do you do, like, I don't want it to only be about my transition, because it's like I'm so much.
you're more than that.
More than that.
You are more than your surgery. I mean, you are so many
Like,
things.
I'm literally like anybody else, almost. I just have taken different steps to get there, and it just like, and like with people and all of these things, the biggest thing is you can always learn something from somebody, and nobody is better than anyone else.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
just
You're
take
so
it in.
right. Well, it's a little longer than normal than we chat. I hope you guys.
We always do.
But I like it. I feel like these conversations need to be had, and it excites me to have them, because it's exciting to have feelings that are different. I like that I'm changing. I'm like, I love the fact that you know, I'm thinking about things differently. I like learning. I like correcting myself. I like.
Same. It's
And I like to,
good.
and,
That's how
and,
you grow.
and opening, and when you take away the limitations of your own cage that you've thought like these are the parameters, it's fucking liberating and freeing to be like, yeah.
Well, then you just can't imagine being so closed anyway. Like, we are lucky enough to be surrounded by so many different types of people, genders, sexualities, races, all these things, and like,
why
that's
cut yourself off from it?
Why would you want to just be?
Yeah,
Ugh.
exactly.
Because that is not the tea. That is not the way.
No,
I'm
it
just
is
saying.
not. Well, thank you so much for listening to us talk, for watching me stumble and watching her just bloom. I can't
love
wait.
it.
I just can't wait to, like I said, I love the fact that we started where we are, and I feel it feels good to just be me in front of you, and for you to be you in front of me.
Yes,
It's
I
all
love
good.
you guys.
I love you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
again.
you. Hit the like, subscribe button, all that good stuff. And there's a part 3, real fun with us girls just chatting. I'll see you guys later. Tune in. Bye-bye.